And that physician is Dr. Nicole Saphier, and she joins us now. Dr. Saphier, great to see you this evening. Why don't we have a cognitive test on Joe Biden?
Well, that's a great question. Now, first of all, I have to say, I am not saying the president has dementia. I can't. I haven't even been in the same room with him, let alone perform the necessary tests to evaluate his cognition. All I am adamantly saying is that anyone seeking or within an elected position should be fully transparent with their physical and cognitive fitness to make sure that they can do the duties of the job that they seek or that they hold. Now, the president in November 2021 had his annual physical exam. We get it every single year from the presidents, and they say how strong they are. And the president's physician talked about some of his, common medical comorbidities, but he made no mention of his cognition. Now, that goes against what the Medicare recommends, and President Biden should be familiar with this. Under the Affordable Care Act, those 65 and older are required to have a cognitive assessment when they have their annual wellness exam, yet the president's wellness exam did not mention his cognition. Now, if you remember in 2018, President Trump, because people were questioning what his mental state was, he underwent a common generalized assessment, the Montreal one, and he passed it with flying colors. So now the president has his annual physical coming up in about a month. He's going to be 80 years old. President or not, any 80-year-old man should be subject to cognitive testing.
Yeah, I think that's probably the most important point. And, I don't think it escapes anyone's attention, but in that clip when he's asking where Jackie is, that's Congresswoman Jackie Walorski, who's passed away. He's already even honored her and her lifetime of service. Here now he's wondering, where is Jackie? You make an interesting and important point. If you were not president of the United States, you'd want a cognitive test. But we're talking about the leader of the free world.
Well, and that is, unfortunately, that is why I wrote the article, and that's why, it's coming to my attention because of these gaffes. We have to know if the president, we should know, we deserve to know as Americans, elections, they're essentially investments of our future, of America, and we need to put our strongest foot forward as we're dealing with inflation and coming out of COVID and everything else that we're dealing with. And these gaffes may just be gaffes, or if there really is an issue and we need to make sure that we have strong leadership, then that needs to happen. But again, president or not, he should undergo cognitive testing at his annual wellness exam. Americans deserve nothing less.
And I appreciate what you had to say about you can't and you shouldn't diagnose somebody from a distance. I spoke to former White House Dr. Ronnie Jackson about this. He said, but you also can't deny what everyone can see with their eyes. Everyone has had an elderly grandparent or parent. Everyone sees signs. And unfortunately now we're seeing them in spades with the President of the United States. Dr. Saphier, great to talk to you this evening.
Thanks for having me.
All right, it turns out Tony